Hey everybody, Konaji here. Welcome back to the Mindcrack server. Today is Wednesday, and I'm gathering some stone. I already gathered a bunch of iron today so that I could have enough iron bars to work on our bridge. And that's all I have to say. We're done. No, I guess that's not quite done. There is actually one thing I need to do to start out today, and that is fix an error that I made yesterday. Totally forgot at the end of the episode to update. That pufferfish is going to get me every time. Totally forgot to update the sign because we had a incident-free workday. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. It is now 3. I hope I didn't actually look before I knocked down the sign. I'm pretty sure it's 3. End of today would be 4. Okay, let's hope. I think the server's acting normal. I actually signed on this morning gathering the iron and stuff, and it wasn't behaving very well. Something had happened, and we were getting a lot of lag, but server daddy himself took the title from me. Sure did. Michael restarted the server, and everything seems to be good now. Also, always trust your instincts, kids. Mycelium does not spread to grass, it only spreads to dirt. So that's why it seems like every day I'm replacing the same bits of mycelium. Actually, this one grew into grass. It's like a chance. Like, if I replace this with dirt, it's either going to be mycelium again, or it's going to be grass. So we'll see how long it takes for the grass to win out in this battle. Probably going to take a little while. There we go. Yesterday altogether, I think I was pretty scramble-brained, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the post-trip bad feels. I got bad feels, man. Bad feels. It just started to really catch up with me yesterday that, you know, happy times were over, and now everything's back to exactly how it was before. It's difficult. Plus, I mean, obviously yesterday, not a weird day overall for many people. So yeah, just wasn't really feeling myself. Hopefully today can be a better day. I actually ended up making quite a few blunders yesterday. Apparently one of our pilings, I always forget what the name is. One of those is one too short, and I totally screwed up an F1 recording yesterday to the point where after I'm done with this, I have to figure out what in the world I'm gonna do to try and fix it. What's orange over there? Oh, the orange concrete that I was marking with. Okay, it's like what is possibly on fire over there? All right, so this one's 66. I think it's the other one that is 65. It looks right, but maybe it's not. This is 64, and that looks like it's one higher. Yep, it is wrong. What do you know? Alright, well, we can fix. We can fix. Everything is repairable. Mostly. Sometimes. Sort of. That was actually a lie. there was virtually nothing truthful there. Okay. Oh, is it nighttime already? Well, fine then. I guess I'll return home and sleep off the night, because it's going to be dangerous out here. Dangerous. You know, I suppose I could bring a bed out here. That would be smart, so that's probably why I don't. Also, I guess it would be a little bit more dangerous to sleep out here in the open, although I could probably sleep in the tunnel just fine. Since there's no spawnable blocks, not like any mobs have ever attacked us in here. Right. Right. I blocked up some of the end here so the fish weren't always hiding. They either seem to be on this end or that end. Very rarely are they in the middle, or maybe they're just not big fans of the salmon, because he's always in the middle by himself. Oh, there's 2 at this end and the rest are at the other end. I don't know, maybe it's just because he's big boy, big fish. Okay, let's go fill in our concrete. Let's see here. I didn't make a list. I didn't make notes today. So I think I'm just going to talk about Seattle today. I'm there's a lot on my mind and other stuff I could talk about, but I don't think I'm in a place that is ready to discuss other things. I don't think I'm ready to bring everybody down, to be honest. So let's talk about good things, like Seattle. Obviously, it was my first time out there, and I didn't know exactly what to expect, having only heard what Seattle would be like from, like pop culture, TV shows and stuff like that, and, just I guess the memes and people's impressions of Seattle didn't really match expectations. Pause for a moment. The squid have gotten really dumb. The squid keep, like, beaching themselves in this version of Minecraft. It's sad. Very sad. But yeah, I guess what I was expecting was just a town of hipsters, basically. That not quite like that, but just a very completely over-enveloped land of just people trying to be hip, basically. And trying to be hip anymore is doing the best you can to not look hip. And yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time downtown, but I didn't get... What in the hell was that? Okay, everything's fine, no need for alarm. No need for alarm. Apparently I had kicked my speaker cables, and that made a very loud feedback noise and scared me immensely. Huh. What was I saying? Seattle. Not different. No, yeah, it was not as overwhelmingly different than what I was expecting, or what I'm used to is what I should say. I didn't feel very out of place or anything like that, and in most of the like suburby places, yeah, really, I didn't notice that much different. Here's the things that I did notice that were different. Traffic patterns, very different. Everyone warned me and told me about traffic and how Seattle is just a traffic nightmare, and I can get that. I understand where people say that. However, there's another layer to that, and that is that it's not even so much that the traffic is bad. 72 is where I should stop, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's not even so much that the traffic is bad, like the roads are just, poorly maintained or anything like that, or poorly engineered. Less to do with that as it is that because of the landscape of the area and because of the urban sprawl, the downtown area becomes popular, and then people do the best they can. Am I doing this backwards? I don't think so. Let me go look at those real quick. I need to see where the crosses are. Yeah, it's not so much that the road systems are terrible. It's everybody's trying to get away from the city, or there's just not enough room in the city. But then people need to work in the city and whatnot, and that's what creates the weird traffic. So it's a 2 brake. Got it. Even with, yeah, 2. The bottom one's 1, and there's 1. Okay. Even if you don't work in the city, anywhere you go, you can't just, like, plow through with a 6-lane highway to get there. And that's the Florida solution, is that, you would just... 2 places got popular and people need to get in between the 2. Well, put in a new 6-lane highway. That's the way you do things. Yeah, you can't really do that in the Pacific Northwest because the landscapes don't support it. What's interesting is because of that, they've done their best to find other solutions, and they've actually tried to work around nature in some ways, and there's a much stronger emphasis in public transport, and they try things like carpool lanes and all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna say all of it's successful for sure. I'm trying to take away as little of this tree as possible. Let's see, it's 1, 2, and then the next one up will be our cross. Yeah, not always a success in that regard. Definitely still problems. You know, areas that are always an issue. This seems too high. Why does this seem too high? Seems like I've done something wrong here. I said 72? Yeah, I went too high. That's it. That's the top one. Okay. Alright, here's some traffic things that surprised me. Shoulders that turn into lanes randomly throughout the day. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, if you decided that this road needed more lanes, right? Why not just make it always a lane? What's holding you back there from just saying, okay, this lane now? Why sometimes have it be a shoulder? Like, in the times when you would need it to be a shoulder, those are the times that you would have a lot of traffic, and if a car broke down, it would really, you know, upset the flow of traffic and whatnot. Well, instead, it's like, well, those are the times that's a lane. So what's the point of ever having it being a shoulder? I don't understand. I don't understand. I guess it helps traffic during times that it's not peak traffic, and then people can actually use the shoulder as shoulders. I don't know. I don't know. That was the thing I didn't understand. And then the high HOV lanes changing between being HOV lanes and not all the time. It just all seemed very confusing to me. Now I'm sure for natives it's not that way at all, and everybody knows and understands, you know, when lanes are lanes and when lanes aren't lanes. But as an outsider, it definitely was a little bit intimidating. But after just a few days of being there, honestly, I got pretty comfortable, and I felt like I could basically drive around without, you know, too much stress, which is good. I feel good that I have the ability to basically travel and adapt to a different place pretty well. I was happy with that. Alright, let's go ahead and just do this. Debating if I want to put feet on these or not. I'll decide that later. That's good. That's all fine. Yeah, that's the way this was working. Anything else traffic related? Not really. I mean, the roads, to me, the roads are amazing because they're actually interesting. You know, they have to work with nature. They have to work through the lands in order to get places, and that makes for much more interesting roads. Versus here, it's, you know, a town pops up here and a town gets popular. They cut through the woods in a very straight line to get there because there's no reason not to. So that's why when I say the roads up there are more interesting, that's why. And I think for anybody that lives up there that traveled here that actually likes driving would definitely notice that. Now, that would be pretty apparent pretty quickly. And while we're on the subject of towns, that's the other thing that really surprised me, kind of caught me off guard, and I really liked about the area, is that, okay, for example, the area where I am, the North Florida area, there's towns and there's cities, but the way they do towns and cities here is basically copy-paste. If I go from my town to the next town, I will find the exact same dozen or so stores laid out in exactly the same way and with the same selection as the town I left. And that's the way it is anymore here. There's not a lot of uniqueness. If you want, you know, your independent stores, your mom and pop stores, anything like that, you gotta go to like a downtown area where they are actively making efforts to try and promote small business. I don't know if it was just my impression. Maybe I was totally off base with this, but it seemed like pretty much everywhere in the greater Seattle area, every town had independent stores. There was your standards, like there was your standard grocery stores in every town that I was starting to recognize. But overall, even in like the strip malls here, the strip malls are all the same places. It's, Supercuts and then, a Verizon store or a AT&T store and a GNC and a CVS, and they're all very nationwide and standard stores. Versus in the Seattle area, it seemed like it was more like someone was like, I want to make a pet store. So they made pet store. And if somebody wanted to make an old video game store, it wasn't that there was a GameStop in every single strip mall like there is here. No, it was just like blah blah blah's video store, which some of them were like Seattle-wide chains that I noticed, but in general, they weren't nationwide companies. They weren't global companies. They weren't your huge corporations, which was neat. And I didn't expect that. It wasn't something I was going in looking for, I suppose. Okay, this is going to be an interesting dilemma, because that will be a full span out to here. Did I do a full span? I think I did a full span to begin with, so it should be pretty even. Should be. Let's see. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it stops with this brick wall. So over here, it's going to end up being a little bit shorter than 5, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Whoop, I can climb. I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, this doesn't look right. So that would be 1, right? 2, 3, 4. This one. Oh no, it's 5 and then 6. Yeah. Is the first one wrong? Oh no. I'm worried that the first one is wrong. Which wouldn't be the end of the world, because they would at least match end to end. So here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's 6. Okay, everything's fine. Don't you worry. Me? I was worried. Okay, I think what I want to do is just extend the rails out. Let's put in the iron bars, and then I can get a better idea of what we're going to have to do with the rest of it. Okay. Iron bars is the dangerous part for falling. Did I finish my thought on the businesses? Not really, but it was just cool. It was something that I thought was really neat. Whether or not people actually care about that stuff or not, I don't know. And from what I've heard, it's mostly a legislation thing that helps that happen. And I'm sure it is the case that because of that, those places, their prices aren't as competitive, and you could pay less if you went to Walmart or whatever. Not really through a point of like down with big business, but more through my personal preference of shopping and where I enjoy to shop. I generally try to find those places anyway, even though it's basically impossible to find here. Just because it's a more pleasant shopping experience. You're not crowded in with people. The employees aren't overwhelmed with people needing assistance and whatnot. And for that, I am always willing to pay a little bit more. That's never been an idea for me, or it's never been an ideal for me, is like, well, I gotta pay as little as possible on this, even if I have to give up a little comfort. I don't usually operate that way, and maybe that's why I'm a financial disaster. Who knows? Or at least one of the reasons. But it's a value, it's a virtue that is important to me. So, of all the things, like obviously I've spoken about the nature, like the area is strikingly beautiful to me versus where I'm from. But the thing that left the biggest impression to me was the amount of small business. Did I personally shop at any of these small businesses? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I ended up doing any of that, because I didn't really do any shopping. Hit up some auto parts stores, so yeah, we went to, you know, the Advanced Auto Parts, not a local parts store. But that, you know, I wasn't really shopping for myself, and I don't know that Kurt really follows the same logic there. I do feel like and I'm not saying this is a negative, even though it might sound that way. He's more of a convenience shopper. He wants the most convenient and lowest priced and easiest to deal with shopping experience possible. Versus I'm looking for probably the quietest and most small business shopping experience possible. So a little bit of a difference there. All right, Tree. We're gonna have to lose the middle of you. I'm sorry. I do like that this is kind of carved through the tree, though. I'm gonna leave the rest of it. Because mobs don't spawn on leaves, I don't believe. Pretty sure about that. I'm at least 20% sure. Oof. Close to falling there. Alright. This is good. I'm happy. That's a good span. That's a good span. What else do I have? Oh, I already have slabs on me. Alright, let me look at the design real quick. So it's 72 for what they're on. 73 is the next layer up. So we'll make sure that 73 is indeed the next layer up. And then it is a stair right on top of there. Which is why the nubbins go in between them, like this, yeah. And I think I had decided that I don't care if they float, because Minecraft. Because Minecraft. What happened in the middle, though? I feel like I had to make a change in the middle at some point. I changed that design up a little bit. I guess I just was keeping the nubs. Keep on nubbing. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I was originally not putting the nubs in the middle. But now I am. Can I walk on those? No, there's a one gap in between. So this is still a very dangerous workplace environment, basically. Okay. That's cool that they are going to be sitting on top of the tree. Right there. That's why I placed these sand blocks down. It gives me placement for all of this stuff. This height of the ground worked out perfectly. Good job me in the past for setting that up. At some point I went out here and surveyed the lands to see how high this needed to be. And apparently I got it right. Ooh, that was close. That was real close. We were about to be making a direct relief donation today. Okay. Alright. Almost there. Yep. And, oh, okay. I don't know how that got way over there. Alright. All good. So those are set. Now we would need the stairs for the sides. And then this stacks up too high. It becomes like this. I think that's how that works. Right? So I could just do that. I'm pretty sure that's how this was working. It looks right. It's getting dark. I'm trying to think if there was anything else Seattle-wise that I really liked or stood out to me. The downtown area, I'm still not a downtown person. I will never be a downtown person. There's just too many people, and it goes back to the whole convention thing of like, I can't enjoy myself. I don't have a good time whenever... Oh, I saw it. It was death. Oh, I healed so fast, but it was more than two. I knew that was going to be a dangerous part of the build, and it ended up being dangerous indeed. I should have had more slabs with me. Oh well, this is a small one. We didn't make it very, very high this time. Only up to 3. Well, if anybody has a fish, $3 to direct relief. Only 3. I'm disappointed in myself. 0. That's a shame. That's a darn shame. Oh, well. Actually, let's go ahead and call it a day today, huh? Let's do that. I'm gonna try and take it a little easy. I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna do with this F1 situation. Oh, the mycelium. Did it all disappear? Yep, all the mycelium spread is gone now. Okay, well, so much for that idea. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you're gonna have a good day. I hope you had a good day, because this video comes out at the end of the day, basically. And I will see you next time, if I can get into the door.